Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, checking in on the big three here. Exciting day for Ethereum and Litecoin. Lots of breakout, lots of opportunity. But we're going to start it off with Bitcoin in the lead in terms of the main name. So we have a very clear consolidation pattern ongoing. We have hit the all-time high on GDAX and pulled back. At this point, it is extremely healthy consolidation. And getting rid of some of these bars, you look down here at the volume and you say, uh-oh, we have increasing bear volume. That's a bad sign. But then you look at the candlestick and you see a lot of it is a lower wick and you say, oh, that's a lot of bulls buying the dip volume. We cannot attribute that to all bear volume just because it's red. It's red because the candlestick closed below the previous candlestick, but the lower wick tells me a lot of that volume is favoring the bulls. So looking at more details, I can see on the 4-hour time frame that we have a bit of an equilibrium pattern forming. And I swear there's never going to be a day where we don't have an equilibrium pattern forming on a chart somewhere here. So I like it better on the hourly time frame just for clarity and a little bit more detail. There's the low of the dump yesterday, that reaction to the CME futures. And of course I was on and nothing really was going on. And then as soon as I sign off, we have the dump, but very clear established support level where we knew very clearly if 19,125 broke, that was a bear signal and an exit. So that hopefully saves some people from a $900 drop and an ability to reload on an oversold bounce. So the hourly RSI hit down in oversold conditions. A point I want to make, when you have an all-out breakout like we have been seeing on Ethereum and Litecoin and Bitcoin, when you're coming off a fresh, significant breakout, the first 5-minute oversold conditions that you see, the bulls are a lot more likely to buy that bounce. And that just means because the bulls have been so strong, there's been people sitting on the sidelines and wanting to get in, and that first 5-minute oversold bounce most of the time has a good probability of seeing follow through. Same thing goes for all time frames, really. So we've been extremely strong in the crypto sector over the last week. So these hourly bounces are taking off once we touch 30 RSI. You remember in the past, we would dip well below 30 into the 20s often on these oversold bounces on the hourly time frame. That hasn't happened in a long time, and that's because, well, a long time meaning at least a few days, because we have been so strong. So the bulls are on the sideline looking to get in on the dip because of that strength. So here's the equilibrium pattern. The low of the dump, high of the bounce is resistance, 19,367. Higher low was established at 18,425. Looks like we might be establishing a lower high here at 19,175. And if so, we'll look for the bulls to form a higher low compared to 18,425. I would expect this pattern to break out sometime in the early morning hours on the East Coast, and it's right now just about 9 p.m. Eastern, so I would be looking for this to break sometime early tomorrow morning. So that's the pattern that we're looking at right now, and the 4-hour time frame. Watching, the bulls could very easily break this equilibrium pattern bullish, see a bullish MACD cross, and go to 20,000. So we can't rule that out. It's only a red flag if we break the low of the equilibrium pattern and break the low of the dump, 18,200. If that level breaks, we will then be entering more significant consolidation. The daily time frame will still be healthy consolidation because anything above 15.7 is a higher low, but it won't be as significant of a bull flag as we currently have right now. So clear equilibrium pattern, watching for that break and patiently waiting. And it's really a nice setup because Bitcoin is going to be in this equilibrium pattern, and it's allowing for Ethereum and Litecoin to do their thing with all the volume that's coming in, and nobody's really paying attention to Bitcoin right now until we get a break of this pattern in terms of shorter term traders. It's been great today. The traders are really working together to maximize our profits. We're jumping from one name to the other. We have Ethereum breakout, then as soon as Ethereum starts consolidating, we have Litecoin breakout, and vice versa. The correlation is constantly changing between the two, and to the best of my knowledge, or the best of my observation, really, the correlation with Well, let me get into the analysis and then I'll point to specific examples. So Ethereum, new all-time high today on GDAX. Very bullish, lots of opportunity and lots of follow-through. So on the 4-hour time frame, obviously the daily chart is very bullish. 4-hour time frame has been forming higher lows and higher highs for a couple days. We have this bull MACD cross now that's adding power to this bull move. We're looking for a break of 800 tonight. I am personally in a position and I'm looking for this break of 800, and we will be looking for a move of easy $20-$30 on that break of 800, meaning we should go to 820 or 830 sometime, in the hour or two, probably the 20 minutes following the bull break. But there's a wall of resistance right now on GDAX. I'm looking at about 10,000 coins before we get a bull break. That's about $8 million. Sounds like a lot, but in reality, our chat room alone could definitely take out a very significant portion just because of strength in numbers. And when you have the whole world involved, that's not really a whole lot of money. So I do believe we're going to see a break today or tonight. I do believe that we're going to see this bull 4-hour MACD cross follow through. And here are the bulls right now as I'm speaking. I might have to bow out here if we do get this break, but we're making another attempt. On the hourly time frame, clear bull signal. And we saw overnight, I posted that chart on TradingView, we saw overnight that Ethereum was clearly the strongest bull in terms of the recovery. And the reason for that is we broke the high from before the bounce, or from before the dump. We dumped down. Ethereum broke that with a significant recovery, while Litecoin and Bitcoin set lower highs, and Bitcoin is still in the equilibrium pattern, and we didn't have an equilibrium pattern on Ethereum because we broke that high significantly. So there were a couple opportunities for clear entries. The first one was on that break here. Look at this resistance of 720. Rejection, sideways trading, clear bull break, and it was all bull follow through. We did give it all back and back test that 720 support. But another clear signal for me was a break of 740, and I actually was a little late on that play, and I didn't get in until 750. But we have this resistance here at 740. We top out a bull flag of consolidation on the 15-minute time frame. There's the breakout, and the break of 750 confirmed significant follow-through. From there, we saw a very nice breakout. I was watching the 5-minute time frame. I was in at 750. I exited I actually let it ride for a bit. I exited in the 780s because there was a resistance wall at 790. And this is a play where I call it an insurance play. And actually, a member called it that, and the name of who is slipping my mind, but I am using it now because I like it, where you exit, you scale out, I split up my order and sell into strength, leading into a resistance wall. And that's because I know that we're likely to see some consolidation before it breaks. So we see my orders fill, we see the bulls consolidate because they can't break resistance. And I call it insurance because if the bulls keep going and I have sold my position and the bulls go into that wall of resistance and break it down, I'm sitting there ready and waiting with the market order to knock that wall down with everybody else. So I miss out on the fees for the market order and maybe a couple dollars to the upside heading into that resistance, but I give myself the opportunity to exit before resistance and potentially reload cheaper. And I did that today on Ethereum, where I exited before the 790 wall with, of course, the 800 wall looming right behind it. And I reloaded, and my target was the upper. Actually, this is where I reloaded. So initially I reloaded right here, and it was resistance in the 780s that I was looking at because we had not been there yet. It was the all-time high. I figured we're going to need to consolidate before we run straight to the all-time high on a $50 move. So we consolidated. I exited on the way up, and I consolidated, got a nice entry filling back here at 758.20. Just put my orders on the bid, anticipating we'd pull back to the upper 750s, and that filled. Sold it again as we headed into the big wall of resistance. I had orders stacked at 782.90, 784.90, 786.90, and that filled, and then we consolidated again. And then I forget what I did after that. It's been a long day with a lot of trading. But where we stand right now, and I learned a little lesson myself, just a little reminder, because I was in a position where I sold again and was waiting for a break of the wall. I was going to buy the wall of resistance up here, and we didn't have a break, so it broke down, and I entered down here on an average of 782, and it was a really nice entry. I was very pleased with that entry. It was right around here, and it was on that consolidation, and it was because we had pulled back pretty significantly. Again, I was always watching the correlation with Litecoin, and the scenario with the correlation between the two is we see, Ethereum break out and Litecoin sit still. And then we saw profit taking on Ethereum, and then Litecoin breaks out. And Litecoin had a ton of bull momentum behind it and really took away. This is where we started seeing Litecoin kicking it into high gear and really going for it. And this is people exiting Ethereum to play Litecoin, because the odds that we're going to break a big wall at $8,000 or $800 of resistance while Litecoin is breaking out and stealing the attention is not likely. So people left. And then I saw Litecoin topping out after a very big move, and I played Litecoin. I sold Litecoin and got back into Ethereum down here on this consolidation. And it might sound like, I was killing it with tons of winning trades today. Had a good amount of winning trades, but with market fees of me doing all this flipping back and forth, it wasn't a huge day. It was a very good day, but flipping back and forth between Litecoin and Ethereum definitely benefits to it, but the fees do get up there because you do a lot of the time have to use market orders, but it's a whole lot of fun, and coming out ahead, as long as you do that, that's all that matters. So my story for consolidation is I started to scale out again, seeing a $10 move on the way up. Now, the reason I wasn't holding for an all-time high is because the significance of the drop. And I have to figure, okay, we're likely to see at best case an equilibrium pattern here on the 5-minute time frame. We're not going to see a V-shaped recovery and a break of 800 resistance if the bull volume is not there. And I could see at the start of this bounce, the bull volume is not there for what we need to break 800. So I started scaling out here again after, a $7 to $10 move in a short amount of time. And I got half of my position off, and then we started consolidating. I wasn't going to market sell and eat those fees and try and, I wasn't trying to race to the exit. I was just trying to lock in some profit while I had it, anticipating that we would form a higher low on this 5-minute time frame and see that equilibrium pattern. That's not what happened, and I had a stop for the second half of my order underneath the support here of 776.57, and I put it just under 776, and I did get stopped out in terms of the second half of my position. So as soon as I got stopped out, that's the last thing I want, because I do have, a feeling that it's my opinion that we're going to make this 800 break tonight, but I have to protect my position because I'm going all in on my trades. So I have a stop loss every time, no matter what. I'll never be in a position and not have a stop loss unless I'm sitting here staring at my screen. So that's what I was looking at. I stopped out, and then I instantly started looking at all other time frames and say, okay, what's going on? And I could see that this hourly chart is a bull flag. And that by definition on a bull flag, you have to hit lower highs and lower lows to see the lower wicks and the parallel channel of consolidation. So the lower high and lower low on the 5-minute time frame normally is a red flag as a potential trend change, but you have to put it in perspective where it's coming after a very significant breakout, and it's still very healthy consolidation. It wasn't an all-out dump or anything like that. So I recognized that pretty early on in the recovery here, where we bounced and then started to follow through. So this right here is me re-entering my positions, and again, exited for profit up here and a little bit of a loss down here. So that was pretty much a wash trade, and then re-entered again. So in the end, probably lost a couple of dollars by protecting my trade. But again, I'll do that every single time to protect against, a $20 drop or anything like that, which I do not want to subject my entire stack to. So where we stand right now, I'm currently back in Ethereum as I got back in on this way up, and I'm patiently waiting for an all-time high break tonight and a break of 800. I will scale out of the 800 break somewhere. I mean, it all depends on the volume and the strength behind it, but I will scale out somewhere in the 820s to 830s, and we'll look for the next play from there. And Litecoin will probably have a play shortly after as people shift their profits around. So Litecoin on the daily time frame established its low of support. Very healthy consolidation. The bulls are now showing back up. The question we have now is, are we going to break to an all-time high, or are we going to set a lower high and then consolidate and form an equilibrium pattern? At this point, the bulls are very well aware. Just watching how the trading goes, it's very clear that a little bit of money goes a long way running Litecoin. And the same amount of money to run Bitcoin is just not there. So, if whales and if a group of bulls want to see a break and they're using, $5 million of capital, the percentage gains they're going to see in Litecoin far outweigh Bitcoin. So right now, Litecoin is much more trader friendly in the short term for day traders like myself than Bitcoin is. So I have no doubt that we could very easily see an all-time high without needing daily consolidation, because it's not going to take a lot of volume to get us there. But certainly going to be watching for the signs of any kind of change. At this point, it's the 4-hour time frame that will indicate whether or not this occurs. And what I mean by that is, here's our healthy consolidation. It was a very clear bull break. It's been nothing but higher lows and higher highs on the 4-hour chart since then. How about this inside bar bull break? Sent that alert out, and I actually missed that alert because I was not at my phone at that time, but we had an inside bar on the 4-hour time frame, and it broke bullish at 327.39. How's that signal? You get an alert at 327.39 that we have a 4-hour inside bar bull break, and just a few hours later, we're up in the 360s. So very nice follow through. Again, I cannot stress inside bars enough in this space. They are a godsend. So checking on the 4-hour time frame again. So if we lose this higher low pattern, that is when I will say, okay, we are unlikely to hit an all-time high on this run. We're likely to see a daily equilibrium pattern play out. And at this point, the bulls have a ton of wiggle room because 305.77 is the last clear higher low that I'm looking at. And you could potentially use 313 as well. This was a little consolidation low, but this one stands out to me. You can see it's the lowest price that we hit from a long range of time, and that's a clear 305.77 support. So we're not going to be at risk at losing this uptrend anytime soon thanks to the bull break today. 4-hour bull MACD cross, we know those get a lot of follow through. That's another reason we could absolutely see all-time highs. Hourly bull flag of consolidation. Compare it to Ethereum, which Ethereum is on its way to heading to 800. So Ethereum has already broken bullish. It's one step ahead here. You can see Litecoin is pulling back. We have an inside bar on the hourly that just formed. It's a step behind in the development of this pattern. And Ethereum is about an hour ahead, maybe 2 hours ahead. So I will be cautious, not thinking, oh, if we break 800 on Ethereum, we're going to go right to 900 tonight. Just because I know traders are going to be looking to lock in that profit and potentially run and jump in a new Litecoin break. So they kind of steal each other's thunder. We do have correlations between them on this 5-minute consolidation. We did have correlation between Litecoin and Ethereum where they were both pulling back right here. But previously on the run up, it was an inverse correlation. And it's really dependent on where the dollar volume is going. And if we see a bull break in Ethereum and it looks like the bulls are going to break 800, in my opinion, we're going to see Litecoin maybe a little bit of upside, but mostly stagnant while Ethereum is breaking. And that's just because Ethereum is going to take that attention away. And then it will go back to Litecoin. There's definitely funds shifting back and forth and a lot of people jumping in and out of these names. So where we stand with Litecoin, we're watching this inside bar on the hourly time frame. Ethereum is much closer to a bull break than Litecoin is right now. If we break 800, we're looking for a quick $20 to $30 move with significant gains for these bulls, and we will then see all-time highs. So the bulls are very much still in control of this space, and after this is all said and done, maybe we see Ethereum and Litecoin see healthy, more drawn-out consolidation, and we see Bitcoin break its equilibrium pattern. If we get Bitcoin, you definitely want to keep an eye on Bitcoin because if it breaks its equilibrium pattern bearish, there is potential that we see it affect Ethereum and Litecoin as well. So that could be another reason that we lose a bit of bull momentum if Bitcoin were to break bearish. So where we stand right now, Ethereum is my main horse for tonight. Litecoin is right behind it. Certainly not going to be shy about jumping into Litecoin if we get some bullish signals as well. And Bitcoin, keeping an eye on it for overall correlations of the cryptocurrency sector and watching for a clear break of the equilibrium pattern. Another thing I want to point out before we go here, getting a little long-winded, but the market right now is so ready to eat up cryptocurrency. Look at these blockchain names and what they've been doing. This is Riot. I've been making blockchain videos every weekend for the last month or last 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. Look at this daily chart. We saw a lot of profit taking today, but in the past 3 days, we've gone from $22 to $46. That's over 100% move in 3 days. And just today, we had a 60% plus move. So this is the market just screaming for anything related to blockchain. Look at, oh man, don't tell me I'm going to forget the ticker. So look at LFIN. It had an IPO a couple days ago. It bought a blockchain company. Look at what happened today on the hourly time frame. We ran just a few days ago. We were trading at 560. Today we hit $143. It was insanity. The market. Do you think the exchanges have it bad? The market could not keep up with this. It halted trading at least 20 times today because of the volatility. But this just was an absolute rocket ship where we had an equilibrium pattern today and we saw a bull break of 41 and it was just off to the races. 41 and next thing you know, less than 2 hours later, 142. And then all these gaps are all the stopping and the halting because of the volatility. My point is there is money fiending for this blockchain cryptocurrency space in the stock world that doesn't have exposure to it in these cryptocurrency exchanges. And if you see anything about a blockchain IPO, look to play it because it does moves like this. And again, we have a whole list of these stocks that are just absolutely on fire. Here's Grow on the daily time frame, breaking out to higher highs, 100% move over the last couple of weeks. So there's money everywhere. There's money to be made in the stock market and money to be made in the cryptocurrency space. And I have withdrawn some of my funds from cryptocurrency to put back into the stock market, not only for Canadian MJ, but because of these opportunities. So when you have, some capital in two different places where you have 100% moves and 50% moves going on, it really is just, there is always opportunity to be had here. And I am definitely done talking for now. I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.